بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صلى الله عليك يا سيدي يا رسول الله. صلى الله عليك وعلى أهل بيتك الطيبين الطاهرين. صلى الله عليك يا مولاي وابن مولاي، يا ابن رسول الله. يا ليتنا كنا معكم فنفوز فوزا عظيما. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. صدق الله العلي العظيم وبلغ رسوله الكريم وإنا على ذلك لشاهدين. Inshallah, before we begin, we'll have a salawat in honor of the Prophet Muhammad and his holy lineage. Sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Our second salawat in honor of Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Our third salawat is to hasten the appearance of our Imam al-Asr wa Zaman. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
I usually don't start with poems, and I usually don't do na'i or any of that. However, there's a beautiful poem regarding Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam. It seems that tonight is the remembrance of the night of the birth of Imam al-Hasan. I really enjoyed. I heard this poem and I really enjoyed it. It says, "Yabn al-Nabi wa yabn al-Tuhri Haydar." O you, the son of the Prophet and the son of the pure one, Haydar. وَيَبْنَ فَاطِمَةَ يَا سَيِّدَ الْعَرَبِ. You are the son of Fatima, you are the best of the Arabs. You are the highest of the Arabs. تَأَلَّقَتْ بِكَ أَخْلَاقٌ وَتَنْشِئَةٌ مَا بَيْنَ نَبْعَيْنِ مِنْ مَجْدٍ وَمِنْ نَسَبٍ. You have exemplified the best of examples from your upbringing and from your mannerisms. Within two things. Min majdin wa min nasabi. From your majd, from your elevation, from your elevation and grace, and that of your ancestry, your nasab, your descendancy, your ancestry, not your descendancy, my apologies. Of course, unfortunately, in English, when you translate a poem from Arabic to English, you lose, from Arabic to English, you lose a lot of meanings. However, I think it's very beneficial for us, even if our Arabic is weak, to listen and to hear the poets, the Arab poets, because it's a part of who we are. It's a part of our identity. We have to keep in mind that first and foremost, we are Arabs, whether we're born here or elsewhere, whether we're half Arabs or full Arabs, irrelevant. Even if we're not Arabs, the Quran came in the Arabic language for a reason, not for a racist reason, not to try to force its agenda on anybody, but because of the eloquency of the language and because of the capability of the language. Therefore, we have to have an Arabic understanding, even a simple one, in order to understand our religion. That is why, what does the Quran read? The Quran says, "Inna anzalnahu Qur'anan Arabiyyan." We have descended this book as an Arabic book, as an Arabic book to be read. Nonetheless, continuing with our subject matter. Yesterday, for those who were not here, we'll have a quick recap. We spoke about the concept of يُخْرِجُكُم مِّنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ. The verse reads, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahu waliyyu alladhina amanu yukhrijuhum min al-dhulumati ila an-nur. وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَوْلِيَاؤُهُمُ الطَّاغُوتُ يُخْرِجُونَهُم مِّنَ النُّورِ إِلَى الظُّلُمَاتِ. Allah is the ally, is the supporter, is the sponsor of those who are believers, of the believers, removing them from darkness into light. And the disbelievers, their ally is Taghut, is evil, is the devil, removing them from light into darkness. And we said, as a recap again, we said That removing is not that Allah picks and chooses whom to remove. That removing is done based on the individual and the individual's deeds, and based on how and whether the individual applies themselves or does not apply themselves, corrects their intention and or does not correct their intention. Who here knows the understanding of fitrah? What is fitrah? Who here knows it? Let me see you raise a hand. Mustafa knows it, Hussein knows it, the other Hussein knows it. Hussein, right? Yeah, so two Hussein know it and Mustafa. What about our sisters? You guys know what fitrah means? Only one sister, two sisters know. And Fatuma. So two sisters and Fatuma know what fitrah is. Fitrah is the basic intention, the basic subconscious of the individual. The things that do not be taught to the individual. So there are certain things that we do not need to be taught. For example, you do not need to be taught how to drink water. A baby does not need to be taught to cry when it's hungry or how to breastfeed. Right? A baby does not need to be taught that it needs to eat. Did anybody teach a baby that it needs to eat? Yes, sometimes we have complications in achieving that understanding. But it is a basic necessity. It is a basic instinct within us. Nobody needs to tell us that. And that carries on. No one needs to tell you that killing someone is bad. Nobody needs to tell you that theft is bad. Nobody requires or needs to be told that lying is bad. That's why, how many of you guys have young brothers? They know, you see that your young brothers, your sons, your daughters, you guys hopefully don't have sons and daughters yet, but your young brothers, in our case, our sons and daughters, that when they are young, when they do something wrong, they realize within them that they're doing something wrong. So for example, my son, I have never told my son that lying is bad. But he knows when he does something wrong, or he has to lie about it, that it's bad. Therefore, what does he do? He cowers away, he puts his eyes down, he avoids eye contact. Something within him is telling him that the action he has taken is incorrect. The action he has taken is wrong. That is called fitrah. Likewise, fitrah applies to a certain belief system. We believe that a part of fitrah is worship. Because nobody tells you you need to worship. There's something within you that makes you think you need to worship, isn't there? In fact, you see even individuals that grow up in atheist home or in secular homes that have no religious denomination or no religious following, something inside of them pulls them towards belief in God. Something pulls them towards belief in God. If we look at history, if we look at through the anthropological point of view of history, we see that every time we have had a settlement, the first thing that we find within the settlements is what? Places of worship. The most magnificent buildings that are built are places of worship. Now we're not talking about whether they're worshiping Allah, whether they're worshiping Zeus or Hera or whomever. That's not our point. The point is that worship is something that we drive for, that we crave for, that we yearn for. And just like when you are thirsty, that means that there is something that you need, which is water, to quench that thirst. When you are hungry, there is something that has to fulfill that hunger. When you need to worship, when you feel empty, when you feel like you need to worship, that means that there's something there that must be worshipped, because it is a desire that needs to be fulfilled. Otherwise, that desire would not exist. Now, I know that someone will say, well, what about the individuals that have perverse desires, or individuals that have negative desires? That's not our point. Those individuals are outliers. That's why we call them perversions. We're talking about the normal individual. So we said fitrah. If that fitrah is amplified, if that fitrah of the individual corrects that intention, corrects that fitrah, works on their basic belief system and their basic core values and manners and ethics, they become a good person. Once they become a good person, Allah amplifies that for them. Right? What did we use as a verse? We used qawluhu ta'ala, the second verse in the second chapter. starting from the second verse until the fifth. Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. That book in which there is no doubt that you will find guidance for those who are God-fearing, God-conscientious. الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا أُنْزِلَ إِلَيْكَ وَمَا أُنْزِلَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. The Quran starts covering the descriptions of those individuals. What other descriptions is that they steadfast in prayer, that they don't waver in their prayer. What other descriptions is that they give homage, they give to the poor. What other descriptions that from whatever blessing they have, they pay forth. What are the other descriptions that they believe in what has been descended upon you and upon those who are before you. And then it says, and in the hereafter they have certainty. They have certainty in the hereafter. These individuals, the Quran says, أُولَٰئِكَ عَلَىٰ هُدًى مِّن رَبِّهِمْ. Those individuals have been guided. أُولَٰئِكَ عَلَىٰ هُدًى مِّن رَبِّهِمْ. Those individuals are the individuals that have been guided or that will be guided. So the guidance here comes as a reward for helping themselves, as a reward for correcting their path. And on the other hand, those who refuse, those who abandon God, those who abandon everything that is good and righteous and prosperous in the hereafter and in this world, they too shall be abandoned. We find in the Quran it says, you forgot our verses, and so shall you too be forgotten on this day. وَكَذَلِكَ الْيَوْمَ تُنْسَى. And as you have forgotten our verses, so will you today on Judgment Day will be forgotten about. Forgotten about, not that God forgot them, but forgotten about as in neglected. Just like you forgot and you neglected our verses, you shall be neglected on this day. That was the sum up of what we said yesterday for those that weren't here. Inshallah, today is the only day that we're going to do a sum up because it takes a lot of time, and inshallah, for the future, you guys will be here on time, hopefully. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So I read the first verse. The first verse is in Surah Al-Imran, verse 110. It says, وَكُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ. You are the best of people that have been evolved for mankind or developed for mankind. And then why is that? تَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. You command in what is righteous, or you are enjoining in what is righteous, and you refrain and you command the individuals to refrain from evil. However, before that, in verse 104, in verse 104, so in verse 110, what is it saying? It says, you guys are the best, basically. In this verse it says, وَلِتَكُنْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةً يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ. And let there be from amongst you a group of people that call towards good things, or that invite towards what is good, towards anything that is good. وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. Enjoining what is right and forbidding what is wrong. وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. They are the ones that attain felicity. I don't like that word, felicity. It reminds me of an old TV show. Nonetheless, it's a term that's not really used in modern English. Felicity means that they are the ones that are successful. Okay? So, this verse says, وَلِتَكُنْ. وَلِتَكُنْ in Arabic means, and let there be. So it's a command from Allah, that there should be a group from within you, a group from amongst you, O Muslim. This addresses to whom? Who is the Quran addressing? Shabab, this isn't a monologue, this is dialogue. Let's talk back. Who is the Quran addressing? Us, ahsantum. The Quran is addressing the Muslims. Right? What is it saying? Allah is telling us in the Quran, let there be from amongst you a group of individuals. يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ. Call people towards good. Invite people towards good. وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. And enjoining in righteousness, or enjoining what is right. You guys know what the word enjoining means, correct? enjoining, يأمرون in Arabic. However, I'm going to give you guys the actual dictionary definition. It is to prescribe with authority or emphasize, or to direct or order someone to do something. Okay? So what does that mean? That means, for example, when your father comes up to you and says, go and cut the lawn. I don't know if you guys have to do that. I used to have to do that. It was annoying. I hated it. Go and cut the lawn. I hated doing that. That is enjoining. My father is enjoining me. He's commanding me. And enjoining is a form of command. He commands me to go do it. For my sisters, I know they hated this, but go and fold the clothes. For some reason, everyone I know hates folding clothes, myself included. Okay? Go and fold the clothes. Go and cut the lawn. Go and do something. That is enjoining when you're being told to do something. وَلِتَكُنْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةً, and let there be a group from amongst you, apart from your nation, individuals that call people towards good. وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. So the first of all is, why is it my problem as a Muslim to enjoin people to do good? Can anybody give me an answer? What do you guys think? What about our sisters? Why should I? Why is it my problem to tell Hussein that he did something wrong? Or why is it Hussein's problem to come up to me and tell me, don't do this is haram? Go ahead, speak up.
For your benefit.
For my benefit or for the community's benefit? So what? So who cares if the community doesn't succeed? Is that my problem? What do you guys say? Come on, guys, I want some reaction here.
Yes.
Yes, it is my problem. Shabab, what are we as individuals? As individuals. So, what are you as an individual? Answer me. A what? A person. Okay, what does that mean? That's actually the right answer. What does a person mean? Someone, one of the sisters, give me an answer. What does a person mean? When I say that this individual is a person, what does that mean? He's one part of many, correct? A part of many. What do I mean by that? That he's an individual within a social structure. Sah wala la? You guys understand me, or am I driving you guys off the cliff? Okay, so what I'm saying is, a person is a part of a community. Why do we need to be a part of community? Because we are humans. That is our social existence. We exist as social beings, as social animals. Not animals that were monkeys or apes or ever were anything close to that. But we are social animals. We're social beings. Okay? Let's use the term beings rather than animals. We are social beings. Beings meaning, social beings meaning what? Meaning that we rely on each other. I rely on someone to make this abaya for me so I can wear this abaya. The individual that made abaya relies on me to give him money for this abaya. Correct? I rely on someone to make this phone for me. That individual relies on me to give him the money for this. The individual that makes this phone relies on workers and engineers and thinkers and electricians and a million things. A million individuals goes into what? Into creating this phone. A million, not meaning exactly a million, but a large number of people. All of that to make this one phone. I have to live with these individuals, correct? Now, I'm not even from Everett. I'm from Vancouver. But I have to come here and I have to live with you guys, correct? I have to live with you, I have to interact with you, I have to deal with you. If we did not have certain understandings, certain rules in dealing with each other, what would happen? It would be no different than the jungle. I take from you what I think I should get, and you take from me what you think you should get. And that's not something that anybody does. There's no nation on earth that does that, because it's not been beneficial, right? We as humanity, as humans, have come to the understanding that in order for us to succeed and to live a happy life, we rely on one another. We rely on one another for everything, where I get my water, how to get electricity, how to eat, how to sleep, who to marry, who not to marry. Everything in our day-to-day lives, we rely on each other. Therefore, we have come up with certain rules, that we agree upon we should not do. Now, such as what? Such as we don't need to kill one another, or we shouldn't kill one another. Such as we shouldn't lie to one another, we shouldn't steal from one another, we shouldn't hurt, we shouldn't harm, we shouldn't inflict pain upon one another. Now the question that I have here, are we the ones that implemented those? Or are we the one, or do we simply follow those? You guys understand my question? Are we the individuals? Are humans? Did humans come up with the idea that I shouldn't kill you and you shouldn't kill me, I shouldn't steal from you, you shouldn't steal from me? Or were those given to us, manifested within us, descendant upon us, and we follow them because they are the correct rules? What do you guys think? Follow them. Why is it that you guys can, collectively came to that understanding? Why can't we say that, you know what, they're just regular, they're rules that we came from living with each other, we've come to this understanding that this is how it needs to be. Why is it that we did that? Why is it that we collectively came to the understanding that these rules were implemented upon us and we follow them? If you compare the humans to the other animals in the world, to the other beings on earth, there are other beings that are also socially gathered beings, correct? Like wolves, for example, work in a pack. They work together. Lions work together in a pack. Sah wala la? Monkeys work together. Apes work together. Am I right or not? They're all socially structured animals. So what differs them from us? See, they have a social structure, but their social structure is based on what? The strong takes over the weak. Correct? You have an alpha male within a pride. You have an alpha male of wolves within a pack. You have the alpha ape, correct? He's the one that gets to decide who eats, who doesn't, who mates, who doesn't, what have you. But we don't have that, do we? We do have alpha males, let's not get it mixed up. We have kings, we have presidents, we have people in charge. Those are technically alpha males. But they're not in control of our lives, are they? They might control certain aspects. So the president of a country can wage war, and our sons have to go die for that war, correct? So they control certain aspects. But they don't control my thought process, my day-to-day life. They don't control what I do, what I do not do, what I can, what I cannot say. They control only certain aspects. So the alpha in the job is the one that gets me fired if I don't go to work. But he doesn't get to decide whether I work there or not. I decide that. He doesn't get to decide how good I do my job. I decide that. The alpha male of my home would be my father, correct? My father does not decide what I eat and what I do not eat. My father does not decide how or where I sleep. He implements those. My father says, tonight, we're having tim and warak, for example. Okay? Yeah, we'll all eat that. But his job is my protection. Not like elsewhere, where in the animal kingdom, no, the father eats, gets full, and then, like within lions, for example. Nonetheless, what I'm trying to say is that our social structure is based on something completely different. It's not based on the strong taking over the weak. If we leave it to that, and we see that there are certain communities, there are certain social structures where the strong does take over the weak. Those are failing structures. Those are failing structures. And we know that. I don't want to use certain names from the minbar because it would be, it'll look really bad for those individuals, but the implementation is there. If you look into it, you see it. When Allah gave us these as what? So that we can give and take. See, Allah tells us to take care of the weak, to give homage to the poor. However, you see that Vlad the Impaler, what did he do? Vlad the Impaler, because he didn't obey the word of God, the power of God, the authority of God, what did he do? He gathered all of the poor people of his state, and he burned the place where he gathered them in. Why? Because he acted not under the will of God, under his understanding. Why? Because he didn't want any more people and poor people or beggars in his state. However, when you come to Islam, what does Islam tell you? Islam tells you, no. You have to take care of these individuals. If they have a problem, you have to assist them through their problem. If they have financial issues, you have to assist them with their financial issues. You have to find out why they're having financial issues. If they have mental health, if they have physical health, you have to assist them with that. Going back to our subject, Al-Amr bil-Ma'ruf wa-Nahy 'anil Munkar. Al-Amr bil-Ma'ruf wa-Nahy 'anil Munkar are things that God has, guidelines that God has put forth for us in order for us to better ourselves, in order for us to become the best of nations. How do we become the best of nations? Allah says in the first verse, He says, let there be a nation from amongst you that enjoins what is correct, what is good, what is right, righteousness, that enjoins righteousness, and refrains or commands those to refrain from evil. In verse 110, what does it say? It says, كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرَجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ. Look at this. You are the best of people, evolved for mankind. Meaning what? Why evolved? Because we are the evolution of religion. Religion completed, evolved and completed with Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. Religion started with Adam on earth, and every single time a prophet came, that religion evolved, slowly but surely. Until the Khatam sallallahu alayhi wa alihi, that was the absolute completion of religion. You are the best of people, evolved for mankind. كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ. Now it puts those conditions. What are those conditions? تَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. Enjoining what is right and commanding the refrain of what is evil. For enjoining what is right and forbidding what is wrong, and believing in Allah. And you believe in Allah. وَكُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ. The best of nations revealed to mankind, evolved to mankind. Enjoining what is right, forbidding what is evil. You believe in God, تُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ. And then it continues for Ahlul Kitab. That has nothing to do with our subject. What does it say? It says تُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ. Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy 'anil Munkar. I'm going to end it here today. Tomorrow we will go over the shurut of Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy 'anil Munkar. Who do I do Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy 'anil Munkar to? So for example, if Hussein sees me doing wrong, does every time Hussein see me doing something wrong, he has to come up to me and he has to say, Shiek Khaled, that's wrong, you shouldn't do it? Or are there guidelines? I see a friend of mine in high school, in university, doing something haram. I see a sister, for example, that removes her hijab in school. And this has happened many times in the past, in other communities and everywhere. Is it every time that I see this, how do I take care of this? Do I walk right up to her and drag her by the hair and rip her hair off? Do I walk up to her and say, oh, great job, thank you for taking your hijab off, let me follow through? What is the Amr bil Ma'ruf, what is the Nahy 'anil Munkar? What are the rules and regulations of that? والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة على محمد وآله الطاهرين.